Hi, friends. Welcome back to English Classes Online. My name is Benjamin. Today's video is on parts of speech, how these parts make up our speech. In other words, we are taking a look at parts of speech with a view to simplifying the concepts. We want to look at parts of speech as parts of our speech. If you are new to this channel, kindly subscribe to the channel by clicking on the subscribe button below. You will also find a bell icon. Click on it, and that will ensure that whenever a new video is uploaded on this channel, you will be instantly notified. So let's dive into the lesson right away and talk about parts of our speech. How these parts make up our speech. All right. Now, first of all, what are parts of speech? These, of course, are common to everyone who has uh, learned the basics of English grammar. A part of, is a part of speech, or let's say a part is usually a unit or section which, when combined with others, make up the whole of something. When parts are mentioned, what comes to mind is a structure. For instance, a house is a structure and is made up of various parts. All right. Likewise, the human body is a structure that is made up of the head, the hands, the legs, and so on and so forth. So let's regard our English speech as something that has different parts. I want to give you, a very simple explanation, something that will be helpful, that will enable you to understand it in the most simple manner. All right. Now, to use correct speech, you need to know these parts of speech and how to use them correctly in sentence formation. Now, you need to understand that the parts of speech are the parts of a sentence. That's basically what I want you to understand here. The parts of speech are parts of a sentence. So to use correct speech, you need to know these parts of speech and how to use them correctly in sentence formation. That's exactly what I want you to understand. Now, don't forget that we use sentences when we speak. When we speak, we don't use single words. We use the sentence because the sentence is the grammatical unit that enables us to express complete ideas. All right. And that is exactly why we use sentences. So when we look at parts of speech, we should look at parts of speech as the parts of a sentence. Those elements, those things that make up our complete thought that we use together to express a complete thought. All right. So those are the parts of our speech. They are the very parts that make up our sentence, because our speech is essentially about the use of sentences. So I just want to give you a simple picture of what parts of speech are. Now, let's look at parts of speech at a glance, all right? And of course, I want you to look at parts of speech. There are 8 parts of speech, all right? 8 of them, all right? 8 parts of speech. The first one is the noun. Second is the pronoun. The third one is the verb. The fourth is the adverb. The fifth is the adjective. The sixth is the preposition. The seventh is the conjunction. And the eighth is interjection. Now, of course, interjection in modern linguistics is increasingly ignored by some scholars because there is this argument in modern linguistics that interjection has a different behavior than other parts of speech. All right. But in traditional grammatical analysis, we still include interjection. So for the purpose of this video, we include interjection. Now let's look at, the parts of speech and their uses. All right. We just look at their specific uses. All right. Now, the first one, which is a noun, is a naming word. We use it to name, to name a person or an object or a place or an idea. For instance, John is the name of a person, James, Matthew, Rose, and so on. London is the name of a place, America, Asia. All right, these are names of places. Then you have a boy, a girl, a teacher. These are common nouns that refer to types of persons. Of course, we have everything that has a name, basically. We have an English word to name it. All right. So now the second one is the pronoun, which is a word that replaces a noun in a sentence. Instead of repeating the name of a person, we replace that name with a word, which is the pronoun. We shall look at all these. Then the verb indicates action or state. The adverb modifies a verb, an adjective, or another adverb. An adjective modifies a noun or a pronoun. And when we say modifies, we are talking about describing, it modifies or describes. And when we say describes, we are talking about a word that gives additional information about another word. For instance, if we say a man, we can say the man is kind. We can describe him as a kind man or as a callous man. All right. So an adjective enables us to describe persons and things. All right. While an adverb enables us to describe actions and qualities. Now, the preposition indicates a relationship between one person or thing and another. All right. That's what a preposition does. A conjunction is a joining word, is a word that joins two words or two phrases or two clauses. All right. While an interjection is a word that expresses emotion, powerful feelings. All right. Okay. So now let's move further and let's now look at how these parts make up our speech. I want you to get that quite clearly. The parts that make up our speech, actually, we are looking at these parts because the name is parts of speech. What do we mean by parts of speech? They are the parts that make up our speech. And as I earlier said, when we speak in sentences. So when we are talking about these parts as making up our speech, then we are talking about the parts that make up a sentence. All right. So we shall be looking at these various parts that make up our speech one by one. Now, the first one is the noun. So let's look at the noun. A noun is a naming word, as earlier said. So here in first example, we want to look at how a noun as a part of speech, contributes to making up our speech. If we say John is a trader, we have two nouns here. John is the name of a person, and trader is also the name of a person. The difference between this John and trader is that John is a proper noun, while trader is a common noun. So you can see that we have a classification. We have a classification here. And so we can talk of proper noun. Well, let me know right, because I have just explained it. Or perhaps I can write here, you know, proper noun. All right, so John is a proper noun. All right. Then we have a common noun. We have a common noun. And so the word trader is a common noun. So you can see the difference between the two. John is a naming word and trader is a naming word. But whereas this names a person, a particular person is a specific name, then this is a general name. You know, a trader can be a man or a woman. All right. A trader can be anyone. So it's a common name. It's a name common to all persons, but John is the name of a particular person. That's the difference between a proper noun and a common noun. Then let's look at the second example. She gave the parcel. So parcel is a noun. She gave the parcel to her teacher. Teacher is also a noun. So you can look at it. Now, in terms of classification of noun, both parcel and teachers, both parcel and teacher are common nouns. All right. Then the third example, the president traveled to London last week. President is the name of a person. London is the name of a place. And week is the name of a particular period of time. All right. 7 days make a week. And this is a common noun because this is a word that we use to describe, you know, yes, particular, I mean, common to various the periods. All right. Now, different days, the word day is a common noun, but when we talk about Monday, of course, that is a particular day, the name of a particular day. So we have proper nouns and we have common nouns. Now, example number 4, Mr. Williams has a dog in his house. Mr. Williams is the name of a person, dog is the name of an animal, and house is the name of a thing. All right. Okay, so this is about nouns as one of the parts that make up our speech. All right, one of the parts that make up our speech. Now let's look at pronouns. A pronoun is a word that replaces a noun. And when we use a pronoun, we use it to avoid repetition. For example, James is a student. James is the name of a person, so James is a noun. And if we want to say something more about James, a pronoun helps us to avoid repeating the name of James. So James is a student, and instead of saying that James is John's brother, then we can say he is John's brother. So this is the pronoun here. This is the pronoun. All right. Then example 2, Mary is a kind girl And once we have mentioned Mary, then we can now use a pronoun to replace Mary. Mary is a kind girl. She is Martha's sister. Then we go further to talk about them. The two sisters resemble each other. So instead of saying the two sisters resemble the two sisters, which of course will sound confusing and monotonous, then we use each other, which is a type of pronoun. All right, is specifically called a reciprocal pronoun. All right, is a reciprocal pronoun. Reciprocal. It's a reciprocal pronoun. Each other. All right. Then, example 3, or I, Jane gazed at herself in the mirror. You see, this is a reflexive pronoun. This, he and she are personal pronoun. Each other is a reciprocal pronoun, and then herself is a reflexive pronoun. When you look into the mirror, what do you see? You see yourself. Yourself is a reflexive pronoun. It's a reflection of you. Instead of saying Jane gazed at Jane in the mirror, which will sound repetitive and boring, then we say Jane gazed at herself in the mirror. Now, example IV, the blue bag is mine. This is a possessive pronoun, a pronoun that indicates possession. And the red one is yours, which is another possessive pronoun. Now, example V, the man who stole the car has been arrested. Who is a relative pronoun. It always begins a relative clause. A relative clause is an adjective clause. How do we know? Because it is a clause that gives us additional information about a noun. The noun here is man. All right, so if we put full stop here and then we raise a question, if we say the man, the listener will ask which man, and we say who stole the car, who stole the car. So now the relative pronoun, the relative clause here is who stole the car, and it begins with the relative pronoun who. There are other relative pronouns such as which, that, all right, whose, whom. These are relative pronouns. Okay, so let's now move on to the third part of speech, one of the parts that make up our speech. And now we want to look at the verb, the mandatory element of a sentence. A sentence without a verb is meaningless. So the verb is the most important part of a sentence, and we need to pay attention to it. Now, what does the verb do? The verb indicates action or state. So we have action verbs, we have verbs of being, all right? Verbs that report existence, being, all right? Now let's look at example 1, how these parts make up our speech. Messi plays football, and the verb here is plays. Here, the verb plays reports the action of Messi. Messi plays football. Then we have another type of verb, which is a verb of being. He is a footballer. Here, is a verb. It's not talking about the action of Messi, but the existence of Messi. He is a footballer. It's a verb of being. Example, Jack slapped the little girl. The verb here is slapped. Example, our new teacher speaks French fluently. The verb here is speaks. Ivy, Eze goes to school. The verb here is goes. It reports the action of Eze. All right, so let's go to the next part of speech. One of the parts that make up our speech that enable us to communicate our ideas with clarity. Now, and that is adverb. What does an adverb do? An adverb modifies a verb, an adjective, or another adverb. All right, so example Rose walked slowly across the room. The adverb here is slowly. It gives us additional information about the verb walked. If we say Rose walked, there are different questions that we can ask about the action of Rose. If we say Rose walked, somebody can ask, when did she walk? Where did she walk? How did she walk? All right. And the adverb slowly here is an adverb of manner. It tells us how Rose walked. How did Rose walk across the room? She walked slowly across the room. That's a verb, an adverb of manner. Now, example the man spoke angrily to us. Is another adverb of manner. It shows us the manner of speaking that the man made, how he spoke. He spoke angrily to us. Example we will get there before evening. The adverb here is evening, and it is an adverb of time. If someone says we will get there before, and you put a full stop without completing it, someone will ask when, you know, or even if you say we will get there, someone will ask when. I know we will get there, but when we will get there? You can say before evening. All right. Now, example IV, Samson was physically strong, but morally weak. Physically is an adverb that tells us more about the adjective strong. If you say Samson was strong, well, how strong was he? All right, physically, he was physically strong. And if we say he was weak, how weak was he? He was morally weak. All right, morally weak. So that now takes us to the fifth part of speech, one of the parts that make up our speech that enable us to express our ideas, and that is an adjective. What does an adjective do? An adjective modifies a noun or a pronoun. For example, Mark is a kind man. Mark is a kind man. The word kind is an adjective describing the man. But Jack is a callous bully. Callous is the adjective describing the bully. He's a callous bully. Example, she is tall and beautiful. Tall and beautiful are adjectives describing she, telling us the type of person she is, how she looks. With adjectives, you can describe someone's appearance, you can describe their behavior, you can describe their actions, you can describe a whole lot of things about a person using adjectives. So it's one important part of speech that help us to communicate our ideas clearly. Now, example, the fat woman parked her blue car near the gate. Now, the first adjective is fat, telling us about the woman. The woman, when you ask which woman is the fat woman, parked her blue car near the gate. If you simply say she parked her car near the gate and someone asks which car, you say, well, the blue one. So blue is the adjective that specifies the type of car she parked near the gate. Now, example IV, the young pretty girl was married to an, well, this should come first, to an ugly old man. All right, so let's, I want you to check up in the description section, you will find the order of adjectives. All right, the order of adjectives. So adjectives follow a particular order. All right, adjectives follow a particular order, and I want you to take note of that. So ugly old man, not old ugly man. All right, so it's good that I draw this to your attention, because if you don't know, you can actually present your adjective when you are using two or more adjectives together. There is a particular order that adjectives follow, and so the adjectives word order is a video I have uploaded on this channel. So check the description section and you will find a link, and that will take you to this the lecture on the order of adjectives, how we arrange adjectives. There's a specific rule that is explained in that video. Now, let's now go to the next adjective, which is number 6, and that is the preposition. A preposition indicates a relationship between one person or thing and another. For example, the book is on the table. On indicates the relationship between book and table. All right, we have two things. We have the book and we have the table. The relationship that exists between two of them is that the book is on the table. And so if you go to the table, you look at the table, you will find the book on top of the table. So there is a relationship that exists between them, and this is indicated by a preposition. Example, the box is under the bed. Under is a preposition showing us the relationship between the box and the bed. All right, you find two things in the same location. You will find the box, you will find the bed, and you can use prepositions to really give someone direction, how to find something that they are looking for. If someone is looking for a box, then you can say, well, go into the room and you will find, you have to look under the bed. You will find the box under the bed. The box is under the bed. That gives a clear direction on where the box can be found by indicating the relationship that this box has with the bed. Then it will enable the listener to find the box. Now, example, the dog ran across the field. Now we have the dog and we have the field, and then the relationship between them is indicated using the preposition across. All right. Now, example, IV, share the oranges between Obi and Olu. Then we have oranges, we have Obi and Olu, and then the relationship is between, sharing the oranges between Obi and Olu. So now let's go to number 7. All right, let's go to number 7, and that is conjunction. Now, what is a conjunction? It's a joining word. It's a word that joins words, joins two words together or two phrases or two clauses. For example, James and John are friends. The conjunction here is and. There are various three main types of conjunctions. You have the coordinating conjunctions, which joins grammatical structures of equal rank. You can see that James and John are nouns, and we use the coordinating conjunction and to join these two nouns. Now let's look at the example I, which is Samson was physically strong, but morally weak. Now the preposition, I mean the conjunction here is but, and that is also a coordinating conjunction. Example, I will not go to school if it rains. This is a subordinating conjunction. A subordinating conjunction begins a subordinate clause and it joins the subordinate clause to the main clause, all right? Then example, IV, though he left home early, he missed the flight. Now, the subordinating conjunction here is though. Now, the last but not the least part of speech is interjection. What do we use interjections to do? We use them to express our emotions, our feelings. For example, someone has stepped on your toes and you exclaim, you interject, you say, ouch, you've stepped on my toes. All right, this particular interjection is used to express pain. Someone has just stepped on your toes and you feel the pain and you say, ouch, you've stepped on my toes. And that indicates that you experience some pain. Then example, I, wow, look at that. Look at that. All right. Then, well, example, I is oh. All right. I forgot to ask. Oh, I forgot to ask. Now, the fourth one, IV, hooray, it's time to go home. All right. So it is something you use to express excitement or ecstasy. You know, you are excited, you feel excited. All right. And you say hooray. All right. So these are the various parts of speech, and we have looked at how these parts make up our speech. This is where we are going to draw the curtain in today's video. I hope you enjoyed the video. We have looked at the 8 parts of speech: the noun, the pronoun, the verb, the adverb, the adjective, the preposition, the conjunctions, the interjections. We have looked at their uses, all right, and we have looked at how these various parts make up our speech, all right. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, like the video and share it with your friends and relations. Click on the like icon and make sure you also hit the subscribe button so you will formally subscribe to this channel. Click on the bell icon as well so that you will activate the notification system so that whenever a new video goes live on this channel, you will be the first to be notified. You will receive an alert that Benjamin has uploaded a new video on his channel, and so you won't miss any of the videos I upload on the channel. Now, if you have any comments, any questions, any suggestions, please leave them in the comment section below. I want to say a big thank you to all of you for being part of today's episode, and for all of you out there who have been very supportive of this channel. I say a big thank you to all of you. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye bye for now and remain blessed. Many thanks for watching today's video. A big thank you to all of you out there for being part of today's episode. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, kindly subscribe to this channel. Subscribe now as a way of giving us support. For notification about new videos, click on the bell icon. You will find the bell icon. Click on it so that whenever a new video is uploaded, you will be instantly notified. If you have actually enjoyed the video, like and share the video with your friends and relatives. This is very important. If you have any comments, leave your comments below. Any questions, any suggestions, we would gladly receive them and respond promptly and positively to them. See you in the next video. I look forward to always seeing you.